What's going on, everybody? It's Costa and Adi here with Retsos International. The Fiesta is over. The celebrations were amazing. Huge win against Paok today, also 4-2 to start everything off. We know it's a late one tonight, but there's no way we could have started this before the Fiesta was done. Happy to be here, talk about everything that was going on. The game seems like the less important thing happening. But anyway, we're going to get into it. Costa, how you doing, buddy?
First of all, Stini Yamas to everybody. Drink responsibly. Join us. Grab a drink. We're going to have fun tonight. Congratulations to the team. Officially, we've lifted the cup. It's the moment we've been waiting for a couple of weeks now, because essentially the league has been mathematically over for more than a couple of weeks, going back before the Easter break. That Ajax game, 1-0, El Kabi, Adeya. Go and check out the vlog if you haven't done so already. That's up on our YouTube channel as well. Lots of fun. But yeah, Ari, great to be here. Lovely night. I enjoyed the Fiesta. I thought they leveled up compared to previous years. Hang on, man. Wait. The last league we won, it wasn't
2022.
It wasn't 2022. So were there fans in the stadium?
There were.
There were? Okay.
Yeah, Valbuena Flair.
Man, yeah, it feels like such a long time ago. Like 2 years without a title is enough for Olympiacos, and it was 2 years of drought before, like the previous time, and it's been another 2 years, and finally, as we said, and at the end of the last live show, order's been restored, and really enjoyed it. They leveled up. We've got the background here as well. We've even upgraded our background here to a picture from today. So yeah, man, looking forward to talking with everyone, wherever you're joining from, whether you're in Europe, you're in Greece, you're in the UK, you're in the US, Oceania, Australia, New Zealand. Big ups to all the Olympiacos faithful all over the world that's watching us right now.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are tuning in, a few dozen of you have already. Don't forget to like and subscribe if it's your first time checking us out and you like what you hear. Follow along with us for the ride. A lot of great stuff coming up. We do regularly. We have giveaways going on, so always check out for that. There's new content that comes out. So anything you do to support, it costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. And Costa has a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys here. So if you're on the live show, you are seeing it. Yes, that is an autographed jersey. It is an autographed home kit with the Europa League insignia on it, so it is incredible. Costa, do you want to tell everybody about the giveaway and when they can expect to be able to participate?
So those of you that are actually tuned in live right now, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and you get a chance to win this lovely jersey. It's going to drop on Instagram in the next few days, so check out Instagram as well. So this is our home kit from this year. It has the badge that only this jersey will have, Conference League winners 2024. And on the back, you've got a bunch of signatures from the team. So for your opportunity to win that jersey, make sure you're locked into Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you'll get the opportunity to win this jersey. It is freaking fantastic. So really enjoy is. Guys. I wanted to say as well, we always like to mention, guys, let us know where you're tuning in from. I see John Stamoulis is tuning in from Melbourne, and whoever's on YouTube right now, let us know where you're messaging us from, where you're watching from. Maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're waking up in Australia having your morning coffee like John. Maybe you're coming home from the stadium in Greece. Let us know where you are watching us from. Again, big up Olympiacos community everywhere around the world.
And real quickly before the Patreon shout, Costa, we should also probably thank some of the individuals that helped get the signatures for us. So to the club officials that helped us do that. It's really cool, especially at a time where we just did the Fiesta, where we won title number 48. It's sometimes nice for reflection, kind of how far we've come to be able to collaborate on getting something like this done. It's pretty huge. At least, I definitely think it is. And I think you would agree also. To be able to say that we can arrange something like that, it's pretty massive. But, you guys can also support us on Patreon. The infamous WhatsApp chat is just $1 a month. There's a lot of craziness that goes on in there, a lot of opinions, a lot of discussions. No matter where you're tuning in from, what part of the world, there is always somebody that will be able to speak to you. And now we have like off chats, different types of Patreon, like I think there's a movie one setting up. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see the guys meet each other in person. So another added benefit of that is the community that's being built from this. So, Phoenix, Arizona. Love it. Odysseus, I love it, buddy. And then Cyprus.
Odysseus is new. This one's new as well.
Yeah, I've never seen. So welcome, guys, to the show. Love to have you. Love to see new people tuning in every day.
Kalispera στα αδέρφια στην Κύπρο. And big ups to Arizona as well. I have some friends out in Phoenix. Nice.
Oh, I know. I think 1 or 2 people out there max, like passing associates. A couple quick things before we start talking about the Fiesta and the game itself. The U19s won their 3rd straight title today. Great season for them. Still in contention for the double, and that will happen. I think their cup is next week, the cup final, or is it a week and a half from now? Anyway, whatever it is, they still have the cup final. We still have the cup final. If both teams win the double, I have been told that this would be the first time that the club, that the men's team and the U19 won the double together in the same season, if it happens. So I have not fact-checked that myself, but that's what I've been told so far. So it could be very big, very, very fun stuff for us. And also the women's water polo team, they came in 3rd place at the Final Four. It was like the Champions League Final Four. So they came in 3rd place. A great season from them. I know they were hoping to bring it all home, but it was very hard fought. Congratulations to them for their accomplishments this season. And moving on to what everybody's here to talk about, number 48 and the Fiesta today. We can talk a little bit about the goals. Great to see El Kabi, goal and an assist. Great to see Gelson Martin's goal and an assist. And Veld opening the account for Olympiacos today, equalizing after that howler from Anagnostopoulos to bring it to 1-1. Christopher Veld, since we've clinched the title, has played like the player we expected from preseason. I don't know if you have any comments on that, or if you have any other general comments on the game, Costa, where we get started.
I mean, I was starting to watch the game in the car coming back from the Belgian coast, and the game starts and my phone freezes while I'm in the car, and I see Anagnostopoulos and Zivkovic together outside the box, and I'm thinking, it just froze there, and I thought, oh, this doesn't look good. When it unfroze, we were 1-0 down, and I watched the replay, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell are you doing there? I don't know, man. Like, I don't mean to be harsh, but it's one of those things with like the keeper today where you're just thinking, how quickly can an Olympiacos career end? And we've seen it happen many times, like whether it's, Fed Fadzidis with that miss against Ajax over the bar, killing all the pigeons in Piraeus.
De La Fuente.
Or was it in Oaxaca? De La Fuente is another example. Archubi, like years and years ago. But yeah, man, I mean, he made one half-decent save that got stuck under his legs. I think that was, again, off the right-hand side. But look, man, I think that the Fiesta kind of overshadows the game today. Even though, like, look, we went 1-0 down, we turned the score around, managed to go 2-1 up, and then ate another one, which was again kind of a soft goal. Zivkovic curler that the keeper tips into his net. So you're like, okay, get at least a strong hand to that. And then, it was nice, obviously nice the way we ended the game, and just to me, it was almost never in doubt. Like we got to end the season in style. It's the last game of the season in front of a home crowd just before the Fiesta's about to start. And it was great to bag 4 goals in total against against Paok. Great goal from Gelson at the end from a fantastic pass from Yaremchuk, aka Yaremchuk, aka Yaremchuk, whatever you prefer. Stefanos Dries, our Patreon, prefers Yaremchuk. What a pass that was! I agree. It was a delicious pass, like first touch inside into Gelson.
No look.
Yeah, great finish, just great finish. And, Gelson gets, I'm jumping the gun here, but Gelson gets man of the match. And he absolutely terrorized Baba on that sprint for the third goal before the pass into Chiquinho. So, yeah, man, I mean, what is there to say about today's game besides Anagnostopoulos and that? Velde, like you mentioned, yeah, again, going back to last week and me calling him the coat of the season, have I changed my mind? I don't know. Like when we get to the Thrilos International annual awards, stay tuned for that, guys. Your MVP, your best Greek player, your best transfer of the season, your most improved player, Baldo of the season, your favorite podcast moment of the season. And I think there's one more I'm missing. Start thinking about that, guys. But is he still my coat of the season? I don't know. When we'll get to votes, we'll see. But I'm happy for him. Whether he sticks around next season, I don't know. It's just, again, the thing with Velde is just the disappointment because he didn't really show us any of what he showed us in preseason this season. There's improvement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and some people mentioned it in the Patreon chat today. Is it because the season's over and there's no pressure? He's just kind of more at ease. I don't know what it is, but we were all expecting a lot more from him. And Cabela's come in. He's going to be at preseason, and we're looking to sign another winger. So, what does that mean for him? I don't know.
Really quickly, I would like to thank Arisban for the donation, buddy. Thank you so much. Arisban says Mendilibar following the times and imposing a 4-goal tariff for Karaiskaki visitors. Good times unless you support the other guys. That is very true. We brought it up on the last show. It's a great time to be an Olympiacos fan and a really shitty time to be an AEK fan, especially. They lost again today. That will never not be funny to me. But they lost again today, and it looks like Panathinaikos are getting that Champions League qualification spot. So we'll see if they do anything with that. But it is great to be an Olympiacos fan, man. We have some good times stemming from Conference League win, the Youth League win. It was nice to see them bring out we saw it was Prekates bringing out the Conference League title. And then I believe that was Plionis that brought out the Youth League one as well, if I'm not mistaken. But
Tanulis.
You said Tanulis brought it out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tanulis and Prekates.
Yeah. They brought out both titles. That was really cool to see. And then the whole line of silverware that they walked through. That was awesome. My dad loved that part. He loved seeing the silverware just lined up and them bringing the 2 European trophies out. It's more silverware than I think Tottenham's seen in a long time, right, Costa?
Oh, shut up. That's below the belt. Below the belt. Just don't talk about Tottenham, man. Don't talk about Tottenham.
Sorry,
we might get to the final of the bloody Europa League and probably bottle it against Man United. Just don't. But if we do win the Europa League, I'm gonna hammer you.
I'll expect it if it happens. I'll be rooting. I will. In that case, I will be rooting for Manchester United. Don't worry. But anyway, Anyway, Stefano asked if we could have a Threados International fraud host of the season. Well,
It's
Lambro would
pretty.
win it every year.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's not even a competition.
Yeah, exactly. So Arispan brought up something really important here because we've been getting quite a few questions about this. A lot of people have been asking because there were so many posts after Bodo lost the second leg to Lazio, even though they were promoted. People say, "Oh, we're back in Champions League." There technically were still two formalities left. One, Inter finishing in a Champions League spot in Italy, and Arsenal finishing in a top 4 spot in England, so that our direct entry was not impeded. Inter has already secured top 4, so whether they win Champions League or not, it does not matter. Arsenal is doing their very best to screw themselves out of a top 4 spot. They still have a really high chance of being there, but as long as PSG finishes the job and beats Arsenal in the second leg, we don't care what Arsenal does because we've qualified already. So these were two caveats that are relevant only if either of these teams were to win the Champions League. So that's the situation with the automatic berth. But for now, it is 99% likely we are in the league phase of the Champions League, which is incredibly important because if you guys saw the payouts, I think Slovan Bratislava didn't win a single game and they still got like 19 million euros. Young Boys also did not win a single game and they netted 30 million euros. So I would expect that Olympiacos with a higher club coefficient and a league coefficient that's at the very least higher than Slovakia is at the very least probably going to net in the region of 30 million. If we make knockouts, 40 million. So that's where we're sitting. So it's really good to be in the situation that we're in. But if we want to compete, we have to see what happens over the summer. And that's stuff that we'll talk about later. But this is all really good stuff. It's a very good year for the 100-year anniversary. It would have been nice to beat Bodo and be further in the Europa League. But I think if you had told me, Costa, that we would win the league, be in Champions League, and potentially win the double, I would have been happy, all things considered. Wouldn't you have at the beginning of the summer?
I mean, mate, we went through a lot of bad times the last couple of years. Like it was hard, like on this show as well, for people that have been with us long enough. The inertia, the moaning, the defeats in Europe. You know, we weren't able to win in Europa League.
No.
The last couple of seasons, and look, we've gone from the post-Martins traumatic stress syndrome and the fallout of after Martins and changing 10, 20 managers. I can't remember how many different sporting directors and technical directors, and you know, the whole mess. And the past 1.5, let's say, seasons have just been nothing short of magical. You know, we entered our 100-year anniversary, our centenary, as champions of Europe after winning the Conference League in Athens, in Ajax Stadium. We're ending our centenary by, you know, returning to domestic league championship, winning the league, potentially doing the double, like you said, in a couple of weeks' time. We're playing Offi, and also, you know, we've done it convincingly. I think anybody that understands football, anybody that's even just like a little bit subjective, just to see the response from the opposition fans, the ones that understand what they're watching, it's so clear to everyone that we were just the best team this season, like hands down. And you see it in the score lines of the derbies. There were moments this season where, you know, we got upset frustrated where we're dropping points against Olympiacos? Was it after going 2-0 up, somehow throwing away the game and, making that Ayak Loney kind of Zini look like
Yamal.
Messi on the left? Yeah, like Messi on the left-hand side, dropping points against Califea. But against the top 4 teams, scorelines this season, Olympiacos away, we 0-1. We won that. Olympiacos Panathinaikos in the playoffs 4-2. Olympiacos Ayak in the cup 6-0. Olympiacos Ayak at home winning the title 1-0. Ayak Olympiacos the return fixture 0-2. Olympiacos Paok 4-2 today. Paok Olympiacos in Thessaloniki, we won 3-2. That was in November. In November, we had back-to-back derbies. I think it was against we played Paok away in Thessaloniki. We won 3-2, and then we played Ayak at home, and we won 4-1. And those back-to-back victories were in November after the draw against Rangers and just before we played Bucharest. So, man, we did it. There's no doubting this season who was the better team in Greece. And not just that, to your point, we finished top 8 in the Europa League. That's a big achievement for a club that really struggled, a club like us that really struggled in the Europa League the last couple of times we were there. To do what we did, to end the season undefeated at home. I don't think we mentioned that yet. We were talking about that before we went live. We finished this season undefeated at home. So it's no wonder that fans have, sold out next season tickets already for the 25-26 season. The only game that I remember us losing at home this season, because I was there, I remember it, was against Forest, Nottingham Forest in friendly, where we lost 4-3. That's the only game we lost at home this season. So, it's not always going to be like this, but obviously keep building. We keep on dreaming. Next season, we want to, Champions League is going to be tough, man. And I know that everyone's happy about, 99% that we've got that group stage position locked in, and it's going to potentially change our summer, the way that we do deals, the kind of players that we're going to be able to attract. I've always been one of those people that, seasons ago after we lost to Ludogorets and we got knocked out of the Champions League, I came on here and I said, Olympiacos' objective needs to be to win the Conference League. Right. The Champions League is just it's another level of competition. The Europa League, we've seen how much we struggled the last few years. And we achieved that. We won the Conference League. We did level up this season. People doubted us earlier on in the season when we talked about leveling up the squad and the fact that this squad is better than last season's. Despite losing Padens, despite losing Fortunis, how many times did we have that conversation this season? The squad is improved, and the big challenge of the summer is improving the squad again and getting ready for Champions League and being able to compete in Europe against those huge brand names that are, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, all those massive teams that are there, year in, year out, and being able to play multiple competitions and have, that squad depth and quality to be able to make sure that we win the league again next season and that we're able to compete and hopefully, give our fans more things to cheer about next season.
You're absolutely right, man. And then it just even hindsight, okay, we saw that the approach the club has been taking to these summers, especially early on, the scouted finds, trying to find certain players, the finds, we'll say the transfers that were the ones that didn't work so well were the ones that we did later in the summer. Oliveira, Willian, the last minute ones, right? Yazici getting injured. But everything that we did earlier on, and then the winter transfers, most of them were pretty spot on, man. And you look at the business that's been done recently compared to how it was even before Cordon, right? How many transfer guys we bring in, like Hallsgrove, players that wouldn't see like the light of day. You know what I mean? Remember that last year, the last 2 years of Pedro Martins, we're bringing in Onyekuru, Pepe. Like the approach has changed. Is it a 100%? Is it hitting every time? No, and it's not going to. But we're hitting more than we're missing. And that is the more important part. And right now, because of the work that was done, not just last summer, but the summer before with Cordon, is that this summer we are positioned way better than we were. We do not have to worry about 18 people leaving the club. We don't have to worry about 18 loans and contract expirations leaving the club. We have 2 contracts expiring and 4 loans. The 2 contracts expiring are getting renewed. Julian Biancon and Danny Garcia. They're getting renewed. For Julian Biancon, I think the latest report was that it's just a matter of how long we're renewing him for. He has the option for 1 more year, but the club wants more. Then we have 4 loans, and we all pretty much know what's happening with those. Andre Horta, whatever the minute details are with that obligation to buy, it's a 2.5 plus 2 million bonus with his buyout from Braga. God knows what will happen with that. I'm assuming he'll be here over the summer. Luis Palma, probably not coming back. David Garmo, we'll see what happens with that. I honestly doubt he comes back, to be perfectly honest with you. But I know
Depends
that
on what happens with Forest, right?
Right. It depends on what happens with Forest. And then there's Stamenic. I'm pretty sure Stamenic isn't coming back, which is why we're looking for another midfielder. So
are you surprised that he's played the last 2 games back to back?
Am I surprised? Yes and no. I mean, the games don't really matter, so why not? Let him play so that he's more marketable, I guess, to other, you don't risk injuring the players you need for the Greek Cup. Does that,
didn't get time today, did he?
No, but I expect he will next week. I'm expecting the guys that are actually going to play the Greek Cup to get time. And they had said that about Kostoulas as well. I'm expecting Kostoulas to play and, now that he's recovering from his injury so we can get some minutes in him. But, this is a way, like, if you think about the positions we've been in the last couple summers. Under Cordon, we had to sell to make up 25 million in sales. We got rid of so many people. This past summer, we got rid of 30 players if you include the B team. I think it was like 37 players, Garapapas told us. So, like, think about all the turnover, especially not just because we had too many people on the books, PSR issues that some people don't think exist. We had to get rid of them. We had to get all this stuff off the books. This year is the final step of the squad ratio. It is coming. You can only spend 70% of your total revenue on transfers or, amortized fees, wages, bonuses, and agent fees. 70%. So, and we're in a really good spot. 30 to 40 million could be coming in with Champions League. Maybe we sell a couple of players, and we have less than half of the personnel on the books that we did this past summer. So the club has positioned itself to be in a very, very, very good way ahead of this summer. We just have to see what they come up with. But having guys like Christos Akas, the current transfer advisor, as they called him, but a guy who did wonderful things at Feyenoord and did wonderful things at Paok, I trust him to be able to find us some great things. We've already been seeing that there's movement all over the place. So the work it's different. It's not like we have less work to do just because we don't need as many people, but we now can focus on allocating more resources to specific individuals. And on top of that, we have a really, really good pipeline from the academy. We have the 2 wonder kids that Nikolakopoulos confirmed on the radio, Eric Hamza and I think Petros Kolokotroni. So both of those kids are extremely highly rated youngsters. Hamza was in the Valencia academy. Valencia is basically close to bankrupt. So we're just furthering the work in the academy. We had success and we're building on it. The academy is a never-ending cycle. You have to keep finding the talent and putting it into the academy. The more success you have, the better the talent you can find and bring into the academy. So all great stuff. All great stuff that's happening. And with a great youth core, something we've been asking for over a decade and a half, you don't need to work as much in the market to buy what you need. And this is hugely important, especially with PSR. So there's a lot of great things, guys, not just the achievements that we've had, but what's being built for the future success and the sustainability of that success for this club. Huge stuff that I find extremely important and I'm very happy about, because I can't remember, Costa, a time since I have been following Olympiacos where on so many different fronts things are so positive and looking so good for the future. Like for the life of me, I cannot remember a time where our academy looked this good. I cannot remember a time where the academy was performing this well, even though we've had wonder kids, here and there, quote unquote, that have come through the academy. We have a much more sustainable pipeline of them, and it's visible with the youth league, the way we're performing in the youth league and what we're seeing the players do coming into the first team. This is huge. I also can't remember the last time we were so dominant in derbies. Do you? I'm having a really hard time remembering when we were this dominant in derbies, even with a Greece that was recession struck. You know what I mean?
You'd have to go back to, I guess the earliest is Pedro Martins, where essentially, to me, the other teams were completely broken during the fallout from the financial crisis, and we were just smashing them for fun. I remember like the playoffs were over like a game in. And it just really, it wasn't a competition. It wasn't competition, and to me, it wasn't healthy for us. And it showed moving forward when we played in Europe. So the one thing I really want to expand on that you talked about was just how wonderful it's been this year to see the build up of a team that's essentially, it's built on a Greek backbone.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, you've got these two individuals who I'm going to bring up now, Kostadis Jolakis and Panos Retsos, captain of the team this season. What a great story it's been for both of them. I mean, Panos Retsos, a couple of seasons ago, he was, playing in the Europa League under Corberan, and just, there was a lot of people saying that he was, outright finished, like not able to play at a high level ever again. And he made some comments actually that I think are worth repeating just now on this podcast for those of you that are watching. I'm trying to find it real quick. He said, they asked him, what does this title mean to you? And I'm paraphrasing. He says, I dedicate it more to myself because I've been through a lot, and I'm very happy that I got back up on my feet. I managed to do what I love while being healthy. So, credit where credit's due, like massive respect to him coming back the way that he did last season, being instrumental in winning the Conference League. I'll never forget the moment where he went down against Fiorentina in the final with concussion, and Doi was warming up to come in, and I'm just thinking, oh no. And he managed to finish out that game, 120 minutes extra time. And then this season to come in as club captain and then, be there today to lift the cup as the leader of this team, as the captain of this team. I think it's a great story, not just for football, just life in general, man. You're down, but that's a great comeback story for him. And I'm super, super happy for him. And Zolakis too, man. His situation is a little bit different. I think there was a lot of doubt around him. And all of a sudden, like last season, Mendilibar drops him into that game against I think it was away in the game against Maccabi away from home. And the rest is history, man. And now, Zolakis is being talked about as one of the top 10 under 23 goalkeepers in Europe, if not the world. For me, he's been the most consistent player on our team this season. I mean, look today, he didn't play today. We ate 2 goals like we were playing in a children's playground. Sorry, Anagnostopoulos, but that's just the way it is. You take Zolakis out, and that's what you get. You ate 2 silly goals today, which you wouldn't have conceded otherwise, in my very humble opinion. And it's not just those two, like Kostoulas and Mouzakitis, 2 boys that the children have become men this season. And I'm coming back to your point. It's so important that we don't lose sight of that. Just because we're going into Champions League, I don't want it to become like I read names like who's the Argentine that plays for Inter that's been linked to us now? Correa. Like Correa's not been a footballer for the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons, man. El Shaarawy, I'm sorry, but again, if it's a choice between, if you're going to bring in a real quality player, okay, fine, but no, if it's at the expense of somebody that's talented and coming through, and we've been bigging up some of these players that are coming through the academy. The club itself has been telling us there are more. There are more Mouzakitis and Kostoulas type players coming through that are in our academy. So don't block them with these just silly signings. And that again is the massive test this summer. Have faith and trust the process. It's been so good. It's been so refreshing this season to be able to identify with those players, with Retsos, with Zolakis, with Kostoulas, with Mouzakitis. They've been instrumental this season. Zolakis, most consistent player in the team. Retsos, captain, whenever he wasn't there. The impact when he wasn't there against Bodo. He came back in the repeat game, but how much we missed him in the first game. Kostoulas, those 2 goals against Aris, coming on against Lyon, almost scoring a goal with an overhead kick. Mouzakitis scoring that goal away against Olympiacos to give us the 1-0 win. Mouzakitis scoring that volley in the 90th minute in extra time against Panathinaikos, in the cup to take us through. So many things that have been given to us by those Greek players, by those young players this season. Don't ruin it by signing and going back to the old tactics of these players that just have nothing to offer, man. No, please, no panic signings and trust the process. I don't want to name individuals. We've named individuals in the past shows. Okay, Pneummonidis, I think, is one for sure that I think will and should be in the first team next season. I'm going on record again saying that. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fix it. Yep. And I think it was even Tease that had said in an article that the club perhaps wasn't ready for the success. We've said it on the show as well, as early as last summer, talking about how the club wasn't ready for the success that it just had with the youth team, considering how it's managed the youth. And I really do hope that they do exactly what you said and they follow what you were saying, Costa, because that is the path to success. A guy like Correa, and I'm going to repeat a quote for you that we received from a good friend of the show who covers Inter. And his comment about Correa was, if you take into consideration his 35 million euro fee, the awful performances for 4 years, and his salary, you could make the argument that he is the biggest Inter flop on this side of the millennium. That is the glowing recommendation for that guy. So if that's the type of person that is being offered or the club is looking into, I would much rather roll our dice with a Pneumonides. I'd much rather roll the dice with a Papacanelos than an overpaid has-been that has done nothing but draw the ire of fans wherever he's gone. Marseille had Correa there for a while, and they wanted to kill him because he was so terrible. So I don't want us to regress and go back into the agent transfers again. Look, if there's an opportunity with an agent, fine. The scouting department's like, oh yeah, this guy's got good bones. Fine. Remy Cabella, I can stomach that. One, because I actually think he's a good player. His data's pretty good. Two, because it's okay to have veteran leadership when you already have a squad that's so young. We had the youngest squad in the Greek league. It's okay to take a move on a low-risk veteran like Cabella, who's not going to cost you more than, a 700,000, 800,000 euro salary. He's not Willian, who we were paying, almost 4 million in terms of his salary without a transfer fee. Like, this guy's a way lower risk. But I can stomach a move like that, as every single move is not like that. If we're bringing in, we only need 3-4 players. Spend the money on those 3-4 players. Get some decent, we know we need at least another decent winger. We really need a strong midfielder. I know most of us prefer a 6, but I doubt we go for a 6. It's probably going to be an 8. An 8 maybe that can hopefully pivot into a 6. But get great players in the few positions that you need. And then you will see that we will have Champions League success, and hopefully we redo what we've done this year. We win the league, maybe a double would be great. But, this is the best time for us. We're positioned so well to make just key moves. 2 to 3 key players, key moves. You don't even have to spend much money on a center back, Costa. If we lose David Carmo, maybe you can find a more experienced center back, because ours are all quite young. You can find a more experienced center back to bring into the team to deal with some of the Champions League pressure or pressure within the league. That would be fine too. But for the midfielder and the other winger that you're looking for, that's where you use your resources and your budget that's available. Get 2 really good players that we need, that are versatile, that will really help this team hit the next level. And it sounds like that's what they're targeting. Ready-made players, Champions League ready, and ready to be starters, fight for a starting spot. That's what we need. And this team will be insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to wave this around again for anybody that's joining. If you're on Twitter, get on YouTube now and subscribe. Also, 26 likes, pretty pathetic. Come on, guys. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit that like button. It really helps us to help, find more Olympiacos fans around the world. That's how YouTube works. If you like, send us a comment as well. It helps the algorithm. That helps us to find more Olympiacos fans around the world and disseminate the channel widely. So hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe also for an opportunity to win this wonderful jersey, centenary jersey of Olympiacos, not the limited one that people have been having such a difficult time trying to get. Everything on here, guys, signed by the team. Keep an eye out on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel as well for your opportunity to win that jersey. Ari, there's one other thing connected to this discussion that we're having now, and to maybe just round it off. Something that really resonated with me this past week was actually a comment that was made by Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United manager. And he was asked about signing Victor Gyökeres, and his answer was basically, I don't want to sign players that want to come to Manchester United to play Champions League. I want to sign players that want to play for Manchester United. And that hit me. The same applies here. And I know that we're not playing in the English Premier League and it's harder to attract players to come to Greece. And the Champions League is a big thing that we're selling to players. It's Champions League, and that we have an owner that is at Nottingham Forest as well, and there's that possibility. That's been the thing the last couple of seasons, right? So we've been going to players as well. So, we even shameless plug, one of the interviews that we've done on Patreon with Doran Leidner's agent. We talked to him, and he was telling us in that interview about how when Doran Leidner signed for Olympiacos, they knew that the owner owned Nottingham Forest as well, and that there was that connection. So that's been a thing. But my point is about what Amorim said. Like, we want players that want to play for this club. That's the most important thing. Champions League, cherry, motivator, great. But ultimately what it comes down to is they have to want to come and play for this team. And there's another great quote that I was reminded of today that was posted by one of the photographers at Karaiskaki. It's a quote from Savas Lodoridis, rest in peace. Όποιος φοράει τη φανέλα του Ολυμπιακού και δεν ματώνει θα φεύγει από τον Ολυμπιακό. Αυτό σημαίνει Ολυμπιακός. So translated into English, whoever wears the Olympiacos jersey and doesn't bleed it will leave Olympiacos. That's what Olympiacos means.
Yep. And I don't think I know. No, you're 100% right. And I don't think let me say this. If you think Champions League is going to bring Olympiacos world-class players, I think you have a really gross misunderstanding of what it means for us. Champions League is the type of thing that brings Olympiacos a good player, perhaps, that needs a rebound in his career. Maybe he had some bad luck. There's a lot of talent there. He needs a restart. He needs to go somewhere that'll trust him, an environment that'll support him, or a young player that hasn't hit the radar of some very big clubs yet. And maybe he is, or maybe he's getting attention from lower tier clubs in a different league. He will come to Olympiacos because Champions League is there. These are the types of players that we will attract. Unfortunately, the Greek league, because of the money, because of where it stands, is not going to allow us to get the top tier talent unless we grow it ourselves. That's just the fact. You may not like it, but that's how it is. So this is something that that everybody has to understand. A player isn't going to come to Olympiacos just for Champions League. But there's a lot of context where now certain players that maybe on the fringe were not in our reach will be within our reach now, because we have something else to offer them. In addition to the fact that, hey, now there's a network, you could go to Forest. You're young, you come here. Maybe if you don't make the first team with Olympiacos, you can go play at Rio Ave. Guess what? You're a young teenager. You have your eyes set on first team football, but guess what? We also play in the youth league. So if you're playing in the U19s, you're going to be playing against the best U19s in the world. So we have a lot to offer all ranges now, the Champions League being the cherry on top.
Just looking at some of the comments here from the chat about Retsos. You remember, that's true, man. Like there was a time where you just felt like Retsos was conceding a penalty almost every game.
Yeah, it was bad.
Knock on wood, man.
Yeah. Then the concussion happened and it all changed. No, David Carmo coming settled him in that respect, because when David Carmo came, Retsos, that second half of the season, especially once Mendilibar came, Retsos was much more stable. He wasn't making those mistakes. So Carmo was the calming figure for him in the most important time for Panos Retsos. And then since the concussion, it's funny, in a way, since the concussion, Panos Retsos has been the better of the pair. Panos Retsos has been the more important piece of the defensive pairing in the center back moving forward. This season, Panos Retsos, when he's been fit and healthy, has been nothing but a rock almost all season. I can count on maybe one hand the number of mistakes he's made all season. And he's just been like, there was an evolution that occurred, and now he's where he was always meant to be in terms of his quality. So it is crazy to think about, because people are right. Like, it was literally like a year ago this was happening with Retsos, a year and a half ago, when like the same Retsos under Diego Martinez, people were didn't want to see him at the club. Why did we bring him back? Because of those mistakes. So it's crazy, but this is football, man. Football it literally is a theater. Everything and anything can change. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
I brought this comment up from Alex050. Brian Hill plays for Girona. I think he's on loan. Pretty sure he's on loan from Tottenham, still under contract. I need to double check that, actually. But
I can pull it up real quick. Y-Scout gives us the...
Mendy knows him too. Yeah, I don't think Mendy's had him as a player, but obviously he was at Sevilla, wasn't he, Brian Hill, before he made the move to Tottenham. I think he'd be a really good signing, needless to say.
Yeah.
He
has a 15 million euro purchase option, and his contract ends with Tottenham in 2026. So he's in the last year of his contract this year with Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, man, Brian Hill was destroying teams with Spain. I remember, I think we played against Spain a couple of times, Greece, that is. Yeah. And I remember him just terrorizing us. He looked fantastic. And then he went to Tottenham. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. You're on mute, Ari. But Brian Hill, he was at Ibar.
Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't actually realize he was at Ibar.
Okay. But Ari, you mean Ari Span, that's Mendilibar had him? Okay, he had him at Ibar and then he got him at Sevilla. Very interesting. Yeah, that would be much better than El Shaarawy or Correa.
Yeah, and Brian Hill is not like he's not a kid, he's not a teenager, but he's not old, man. He's 24. He's 24 years old. So it's a really good profile to have. Assuming he would want, but he's like, I worry that he's out of our price range. You know what I mean? If the option is 15 million, do you really think, look, okay, it's a contract year. It's the final year of his contract.
Yeah.
Tottenham can't get top dollar. But even if they said settled for 10 million, do you think Olympiacos is going to spend 10 million on Brian Hill?
No. From it's hard to bring a Premier League player to Greece, at that age with his profile. The thing is, this is where Champions League means something. Like, whether you can work out a loan deal with some kind of option where you depreciate the value over time. I don't know. But that's really interesting. I didn't know that Mendilibar had him at Ibar and that he was behind bringing him on loan to Sevilla. I think that could be key. And if, that's the type of transfer target that I would hope the club is chasing up, as difficult as it is. Use the manager's connection. What do you?
I don't think Costa. There's an injury note here. He had surgery on his medial and lateral ligament, medial collateral and lateral collateral ligament in his knee. That's this season. He's out. He's out until the fall.
Well, there you go. Then we're definitely signing him.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now. It comes up here. He had surgery, damage to his meniscus and lateral collateral ligament, LCL. So yeah, he's out until
he's 24. He's 24. Fortunis came back from 2 ACLs post 30, man. Look, those things. If a player has the right mentality, the right work ethic, and just ability to persevere and get through those things, they can get through them. It takes a lot. Okay, we're not professional footballers here talking, but I know you've had your
I've gone through
experience
two of
with,
them. I've
yeah.
gone through two of them.
So it's not like today with sports science, medicine, etc. Like footballers can get through those. And Gelson Martins was not in a dissimilar situation, I guess, when we signed him, or he had some bad injuries, wasn't playing from Monaco, was it, from where we got him? So anyway, I think we've gone down the Brian Hill talk maybe a bit too far down the rabbit hole, but okay.
I don't think but when you're preparing for Champions League, even though I agree with you, but preparing for Champions League, we need people that are ready to play. Like, you're not going to buy a guy that just got surgery, or at least pay top dollar for him. If the club were to get him, it would be like, this is a guy that we're hoping will help us in the future, not immediately. Because even though I was running at 6 months, like after surgery, I was running kind of back into a more like a more normal schedule. I know these guys can be back in less time. Fortunis was back in what, like 5-6 months? He was like training and running on the field, if I remember correctly. So, but that's not like the risk that you take going into your Champions League season. You need somebody that's a little bit more healthy. So, I don't think anybody complains if we bring Brian Hill, like knowing that he'll be available later in the season. But when we need ready-made players now, if you tell everybody our offensive BAM is Brian Hill, people will lose their minds because he's not healthy. So, that's how I see it. John Arias, I could see coming back on the radar again. The Colombian guy.
Yeah. The one in January that, people thought we were going to get.
Yeah. So I could see him coming back, but
and
maybe
it
left a bad taste in it. Yeah. I was surprised.
Go on.
I was surprised about, when we did the poll for various players who would you keep, how positive so many people were about Luis Palma. The vast majority across all, we did the poll on X, we did the poll on Facebook, we did the poll on Instagram, and it was like near 75%, if we're counting everything in total. 75% wanted Palma to stay. They're like, he's a great player, he didn't get enough time.
To me, he's exactly what Celtic fans said he was.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, good player, technically speaking, doesn't really have the ability to beat his man on the wing. There is one instance this season where he did that, like against Ajax, where he's given the assist, where he's just skimmed two players down the left-hand side and played in the cross, I think, for Orta's goal, or one of the goals that Orta scored. He scored a wonderful goal in that game as well. And that's really all that's a reference game for Palma this, during his loan stint. But otherwise, even at Aris, I think, if I remember well, he was quite inconsistent, like to kind of disappear for games and then pop up again in a derby against Paok and score a goal or two. Hasn't been as good as, if you're saying what 75% want to keep him, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. And I know, because I had divided it into two. I said yes, but then yes, but not for 4 million or whatever 4 million with his options for. So I think while 75% yes, there was a good chunk of the yeses that were if he were available for more cheap. But again, if Remy Cabella is one of our two winger attacking mids that we're looking for, and we're looking for another one, I don't think Luis Palma is the second guy. We need more than that. We need bigger than that, unfortunately. Now, if we sell somebody and then you bring him as like a way to upgrade the depth, I'm not necessarily against it. But Mendilibar wants one player in if somebody goes. So a person has to leave for us to bring somebody in. Doesn't sound like he's changing the roster requirements. I don't think he's going to allow any more people. He 23 man, maybe plus a couple kids, and that's it.
I think maybe that's an interesting one as well to see to what extent he'll allow the squad to grow, bearing in mind playing Champions League and
Right.
3 competitions again. In
I
terms
think
of the
we
width,
need 25 players, man. Like, I don't see how we could do this again. I don't think it's possible.
Getting towards, I mean, we're at the end of the season now. Not getting towards the end of the season, but we've seen the impact that it's had on players, the intensity levels. El Kabi at one point, like, you remember we were saying, like, the guy's playing week in, week out, like Yaremchuk's playing trash minutes, like 5 minutes, 7 minutes at the end of the games. Yeah. We were thinking, like, how long can this go on for without, El Kabi getting injured? And he got injured at a critical moment in the season. I remember the Ajax game, people were like, oh, why did he bring him on? He got injured. Ortega got injured that game too. That's going to be an interesting one, whether we're going to, end up with a 23-man squad with, plus goalkeepers and a few youngsters, whether it's going to go up to 25. This is Nicola's very, very active in the chat today. Who is young player? I assume the question is, who's our young player of the year this season?
Tough.
Well,
I guess what are we? Does Zoulakis count as like young player? You know what I mean? Like, what do we? It's so weird because we've always had
been around for so long.
Squad so old. Yeah, we've also always had a squad that's a little bit on the older side. You know what I mean? Like there haven't been too many young players to talk about outside of like Agibu. You know what I mean? Like Agibu Kamara and then Madi when he first came along. We never had a lot of young players, quote unquote. So, I mean, that's a tough one, especially if we include Zoulakis in the mix. I would probably edge closer to Zoulakis.
A tough one this season as well when we get to the awards, the Thrilos International Awards, is most improved player, because people might think like Kostoulas and Mouzakidis, but Kostoulas and Mouzakidis didn't play in the first team last season, so you kind of can't count them. And then you look at the core players that have played in the lineup, and you've got Zoulakis, you've got Retsos, Ortega, Rodinei. I'm talking now ones that you could consider from last season as most improved. Heze, Chiquinho, Gelson, El Kabi. Like, who's your most improved?
I don't know if El Kabi would be most improved, because if you look at
No, I'm just saying, like, who's your pool of players that you can take from last season and say, oh, he improved the most from last season?
Well, some people don't even look at it that way. They look at the course of the season also. And if somebody improved during the course of, like, could you say Yaremchuk, right? Even though I don't necessarily think he's improved, I think he just was given trust and more time. Yeah. But some people would say Yaremchuk is most improved.
He did the businessman, and he came on today as well, and he hit the bar, and he got a bloody assist too. Like, I love that guy. I love Yaremchuk, man. I don't know. I'm biased. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But
all the hate that we got too for support, like, there's like some, like, early in the season when we were saying that, like, oh, there's a player here, and oh no, he's Parto, gone by winter.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Yeah, let's bring in God, what's his name? Don't even know. Kefte. I call him Kefte.
Yeah. I wish I was better at bookmarking some of the stuff. Like, people got upset with me about us.
People in the January transfer window, they were like, "Oh, get rid of Yaremchuk and bring in Kefte." I was like, "What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? A guy that failed in Cyprus, playing for one of the bigger clubs out there, and we're gonna get rid of a Ukrainian international, Ukraine's starting striker, and we're gonna bring in Kefte." Okay, Kalapi Yafto.
This might be Biancon would be a decent shout, man.
Ah. The votes on that are going to be interesting.
I can't wait to see. Like, there's actually some really good. Like, I feel like a couple of our award shows, like it was very clear. Some players, like, right, okay, best Greek.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we only had one that was halfway decent. We have quite a few Greeks to choose from now. Most improved. There's quite a few options. MVP is going to be nuts for me this year.
MVP is going to be interesting. Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm set on mine. I'm adamant, and I've thought about it quite a lot, but I won't reveal it today. I mean, I think I did already, but yeah. Anybody that's watched the AEK vlog.
Yeah, it's gonna be the award show is gonna be crazy. It's weird because we've had like the last 2-3 award shows we've done. The team has been like pretty bad, except for like not last season, end of last season because of everything that happened. I think it was a little bit different because the recency bias helped us out a little bit. But like the season before, Martin's final season, which was awful, like we had some pretty bad seasons, and it was like, oh my god, like who was just not terrible this season? You know what I mean? So this is going to be like an exciting award show. It's a lot more positive going into the award show.
It's going to be
for
fun.
a whole season. I can't wait, man. It's going to be so exciting.
Comment Alexis K. Alexis K says Kostoulas isn't just the youngster of the season, according to him. He's a serious candidate for overall MVP. Without him, I doubt we would have won the title so easily. P.S. Yaremchuk Levedia. Can I just say also to add to your comment, Alexi? P.S. Yaremchuk Gamia.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be a good award show, man. I can feel it. There's like, God, so many different players.
After the Greek Cup, when the season's over.
Season's going to be over. It'll be done. And we'll send everything out like we do every year. We're going to ask you for your votes. We're going to do everything. We do stories. We also did, I think it was on X, we put out like a thing. Or did we not do that last year?
I think we put polls up on Twitter.
Yeah, that's right. We did put polls up.
We left each, like during the week we did like a 24-hour poll for one category and then a 24-hour poll for the next one. So, and we do the same on Instagram.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of chances to vote. So we will do all of that. Then we'll do the live show voting. We'll do the live show where we present the awards to everybody. So you guys will see everything. It'll be fun. We do our little tidbits. So it'll be a good show. It always is. We have fun doing it. And, the cool part is in recent years, it gets a little bit of attention from some players and some people at the club. So that's the cool part about it also. So it's all good stuff. Can't wait. Can we do YouTube polls without doing a live show? I know there's a community thing. I'll investigate that.
Yeah, there's a tab. We can on our page. Yeah, I think so.
Nicola, don't worry, buddy. We'll investigate that because we know that we have some people that aren't on other social platforms. So we'll investigate that too. It's a little over an hour here.
Yeah, it's nearly. I'm slow. I've been nursing my drink. I've got like a small sip of whiskey left. Can you see that? Yeah, a little bit.
I see that. You got a little bit left. I have one more comment before we do man of the match. There's been a lot of comments about Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Ortega, about, some people saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't sell Ortega yet. Bruno was shaky. All I have to say is seeing this today, not that I think Bruno's a terrible player, but I'm surprised we haven't seen a performance like this sooner from him. I don't think this guy was ever going to be fighting to be a starter. And I said that in the scouting report for those of you that are quick shout out, by the way, if you want more analysis about players, Patreon, you can watch the scouting reports that we do. But Bruno is a player that I didn't think was ever going to be like a starter for us. And today didn't surprise me too much. He's a useful player, but if I'm the club and I have to sell assets this summer to get bigger ones, I would be selling Ortega, getting another left back, beyond, I think, just Athanasiou, because I don't know. I really am not sure Athanasiou can be a starter for us, even though I think he's a good player. I don't know.
No.
But I would rather get a better wing back, personally, if that's what we're talking about. I know we don't want to sell Heze, but I think Heze goes too, to be honest.
We might need 2 wing backs this summer.
Yeah, especially if Rodinei gets converted.
Rodinei is not playing right back in the Champions League, man.
There's no way.
No.
I mean, when Anagnostopoulos had mentioned that Rodinei could be converted to a full-time winger, that told me everything, to be honest with you. Like I could definitely see Mendy because he trusts what he's seen from Rodinei, that he would rather do that. Plus, like, Rodinei there's no way this guy's going to do that kind of running day in, day out for us at fullback. We require a lot from our fullbacks, man. A lot. Costinha is a bionic machine. And as is Ortega for most part this season. Like, I don't think Rodinei at his age is going to be able to do that nonstop. Maybe against Greek opposition, but there's no way he can keep that up for Champions League.
Rodinei's contract's up, by the way, isn't it? Also, he hasn't renewed yet.
Not this summer. It's up next summer.
Is it next summer? You sure?
Yeah, we only had two contracts expiring, and the 2 contracts that were expiring were Gelson, or sorry, not Gelson, Danny Garcia and Biancon. I actually think Rodinei's contract goes until 2027. Yeah, let me pull it up.
Katsere. I'm looking that up now.
Yeah, because Rodinei.
Oh, I'm sorry. He did he renew?
He renewed at the beginning of the season. I got that one. Yeah. He renewed.
Okay.
He renewed.
2027, January 2027. His contract ends.
Y Scout is. I love.
Or even June. Sorry.
Yeah. So.
Last contract extension. You're right. September 2024. He renewed.
This would be absolutely hilarious. I don't think I ever saw Vayanidis linked with Nottingham, but for audio listeners, George Kadili says it would be hilarious if Nottingham gets Vayanidis and then we receive him on loan. I'm not gonna lie, I would friggin' cry. I would laugh so hard, even if he didn't play much. I would laugh so hard.
Has he been linked to Forest?
I haven't seen that personally.
I think Sporting's been really big with Vayanidis, isn't it?
He'll get the Alexandropoulos treatment. They'll buy him, put a stupid buyout clause in his contract. Won't do anything. Actually, I think he's a good player, to be honest with you. If we're being serious, I think Vayanidis.
Attacking wise, yeah. If he can improve defensively
terrible, yeah. But great attack. Love him. So, all right, Costa, should we do this? Man of the match, coach's grade?
Okay. My man of the match is Gelson Martins. I think the last 10 minutes in particular, getting the assist and the goal at the end, clinical finish, just absolutely terrorized Baba, like I said earlier, getting that assist for the third Chiquinho goal. In general, he was lively today, and he's received quite a lot of criticism from us, from Olympiacos fans in general as well. And I thought that he deserves it today. And also, there's an interesting stat. I don't know if you knew this one, Ari. Gelson Martins in derbies this season, 3 goals and 5 assists in derbies. That's 8 goal contributions in derby games. Not bad. He's done well today. He's my man of the match. Coach's grade. What can I say about the coach, man? I mean, if we manage to get a player interview in the next few weeks, months, I really just want to ask the question, what did this manager change so much? What did he change so much? Because it's just, you see the acceptance and the love that he receives from the fans, all the support. it's it takes me back. I'm trying to think like what foreign manager had that amount of respect, acceptance, and love from Olympiacos fans. It's got to go back to Ernesto Valverde, the Bilbao, the Basque connection. That's it, man. Voila, maybe we get a player on in the next couple of weeks, months, and that's a question I want to ask. But Mendy, I mean, what can I say today? Coach's grade, yeah, A. We won the game 4-2.
Yeah, I'm with you there. My man of the match is a little bit different. I gave it to El Kabi. Assist to after things went sour early, assist, and then he scores the goal. I thought that was important, getting us back in the league, getting the crowd back into it. Crowd got a little quiet after we went a goal down after the first minute. So I thought that was important, and I don't think we press on without that. If that doesn't happen, I worry that things end up and we either draw or we don't win that game. So I was probably the only person that was different, and then not just the co-host, but now in the audience poll as well. On your point about Mendy Costa, I think one of the biggest things that he did was just change behind the scenes, not something we can quantify, but he changed the mentality of the players. How
and the club.
weak of a mentality. And the club too. The club, like, it is because of him that Karaiskakis is a castle again. Undefeated in all official competitions this season at home. The castle is back. It's back. The mentality of the players fighting for each other, not just fighting in general, but fighting for each other as a team, as a family on the pitch. That was gone for a couple of seasons. Like, we didn't see that. We missed the passion on the pitch, and now he demands that. So if there's anything I can point to that he did, which caused the change for everything that we've seen today, it's he brought the passion and the mentality back of what it means to wear the shirt of Olympiacos. That's what he did.
He's relentless.
Tactic-wise, he is, man, and
he's
relentless from him.
They asked him post-match today, like, who's your MVP of the season? It's like, I can't vote MVP. And his response was more or less like, it's the team. Like, everybody had a role to play. Everybody contributed this season. Like, I can't single out one player. And then again, that kind of that says a lot about who he is, how he coaches, how his philosophy. And that's it, man. You can't single out. It's hard to single out one player. And again, today, the league's over. We've got nothing. It's a hard job he has now, actually. Like, these last
motivating.
Motivating, getting the most out of the players. And don't take it for granted today. Like, that today's 4-2 win, like, it's a triumph. It's a goal fest. Something the fans enjoyed today. Don't take it for granted. I remember other seasons, actually, where how many times have we seen this before? We finished the season early. Mathematically, it's done, and we're going into the last game of the season. And I remember games we've lost or games that we've won, like, in the skin of our teeth, like 1-0 or whatever. And today they've put on a show again, and you've seen him on the touchline, and he's not standing still. He's not content. Like, he's barking orders at the players. He's telling them where they need to be, what they need to be doing on the pitch, and grabbing players, giving them advice. Like, just relentless. It's brilliant. Love to see it.
Yep. Nicola brought up, you brought up Valverde. He brought up Bajevic, and it reminds me of, especially for the guys that have been around here a while. We did an interview with my old trainer who used to be an assistant for Bajevic back in the day, Yannis Katrisiosis. And he said something, and I remember Olympiacos even said the same thing to us. Katrisiosis told me that, or my coach, I should say, Coach Yanni, told me that players, Bajevic could make you feel like the most important person. Like, he knew exactly what each player needed to hear to motivate them to do what needed to be done. He knew the players that he needed to scream at, and he knew the players that he needed to be a little bit more sensitive with. And he said every single player, almost every single player, would have run through a wall if Bajevic said so. Olympiacos even told us I would have run through a wall for Bajevic if he told me to do it. And that's the type of coach that Mendilibar is also. You know, not 100% of the players maybe love him like all of them, but you see how they feel towards him. And you saw how the players that he coached back at Sevilla, like Rakitic, for example, how they felt about him. So he has that personality that I think is extremely important when it comes to coaching certain players. He knows how to manage all of these players in addition to getting whatever he gets out of them more tactically. So that comment from Nicola made me think about that. Well, Costa, any other thoughts, or are you ready to wrap up? I think it might be about that time. Hour and 20 minutes here on Fiesta night after Olympiacos beat Paok 4-2. And I may have lost Costa. Did I lose you, Costa? Well, boys and girls, I think I might have lost Costa.
My connection was a bit shitty for a moment there.
There you go. You're back. Just asking if you have any other comments before we go ahead and wrap things up. There we are. So I think we're losing signing out here. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Fiesta night here. Olympiacos beats Paok 4-2. You saw the giveaway that Costa showed you earlier.
The only thing I have is check out Patreon.
And he's back, and he's not. Anyway, guys, check out Instagram because the giveaway's coming. Check out our Patreon. Check everything out. Thedos International, by the fans, for the fans. And we will see you all next time.